Hey guys, welcome back as always. My name is Leyzar, and if I look and sound sick, that's only because I am. But that's not important. What is important, my friends? Long have we waited, little remains. Week 6 is almost upon us with the Incarnon weapon adapters, and that means the glorious, the fantastic Dread bow. Let's be honest, that one is the most exciting. Now, we do know how the bow will actually work, so to make things very simple for you, have you played with the Incarnon Paris? You haven't? Well, it's a fantastic weapon, and essentially the Dread is gonna be acting the same way. You're still gonna have that Fluctus style of projectile.
That was a 598 million crit.
You wanna see level cap with such a weapon? Look at the cards right now. Essentially, that's what you can expect of the Dread. Now, you still have the Hate, the Sibear, fantastic melee weapons, perhaps. You let me know in the comment section down below. The Sibear is pretty horrific. Horrific would be an accurate description of how to farm this. It can be very difficult to actually get the Sibear. I remember back in 2018 or 2019, a viewer actually gave it to me. He said something like, hey, I'm gonna spare you a whole lot of pain. I didn't understand what he meant back then. I do now. And also you have that fantastic sight, Hate. These Stalker weapons in full swing. We're talking about the Dread, the Hate, and the Despair as well. Now, we went over the talents of the Despair, the data mined information, and to be honest, it looks pretty promising, especially if you're going to be using them in combination with the other Stalker weapons. Apparently, the Stalker weapons will get significant bonuses if you have all of them equipped, all three of them. So the Hate, the Despair, and the Dread. Honestly, I love this kind of design. I love that they thought of this. And if you manage to get the Stalker and all three weapons in the circuit, then that's gonna be fantastic. If not, you can go for regular Steel Path or normal mode if that's what you're into. As before, my friends, I will bring you full and detailed build guides, proper reviews on all three range weapons. We're talking about the Dread, the Despair. Oh, I forgot about the Zylok. Would you fancy that? Zylok, a fantastic, beautiful secondary weapon in Warframe that has never really been all that powerful. On release, it was basically mastery fodder, and as the meta changed, it was less mastery fodder, yes, still mastery fodder. Anyway, the point is I will bring you full and detailed build guides on the Dread, the Despair, the Zylok, and I'll cut you a deal. I don't really do melees because essentially it's mostly the same build and you e-spam, and that's your gameplay. It's not really my cup of tea, and I want to encourage the developer to retake a look at melee to make it more interactive, more fun, yada yada, not important. What is important though, I am kind of drawn to the whole idea of using the Stalker weapons, as probably most of you are. So tell you what, you give me 1,000 likes on this vid and I will actually do a melee review. And I do believe, my friends, it's time to refresh our memory on how these weapons actually work.
The Zylock is a semi-weapon equipped with a duplex trigger, pretty much like the Tigris Prime or Sancti Tigris. If you ever used the duplex trigger before, you will understand what this means. Now we got 8 shots in a clip, and at the click of a button we're going to be firing 2 of those shots. You will see that the second shot kind of climbs up from the initial one because of the recoil. Both of the shots are pinpoint accurate for the most part, but again the recoil climbs your aim, so that's why you get a bit of a difference between the two. This is not a burst gun, definitely not. So what you can do is fire one shot, hold your trigger, press down, and release when you're good and ready, and you're gonna get tremendous accuracy out of both of the bullets. The Dread is a traditional style bow in Warframe, and that means it can be fired in 2 different ways. You got your quick shot, and the advantage to quick shot is, well, the fact that it's quick, but unfortunately you're only getting half the damage. In order to get the full amount of damage per projectile, you gotta fully charge the bow, then release a shot. Now, if you're doing a halfway shot, a quarter shot, you're still getting half the damage. So it's either quick shot to finish off a lower level target, or a half HP or low HP target, or go for the full shebang, the full charge up. That said, this being a projectile based attack, there's a couple of things that you need to be aware of. First of all, you're going to be having projectile travel speed and projectile drop off. That means that depending on the distance between you and your target and the motion of the target, you might have to lead your target and aim slightly above enemy's head. It's simple to hit standing still targets, but we're going to have an actual gameplay demonstration later on so you can see exactly what I mean. I recommend you just practice with the bow a little bit so you can get a feeling for the actual projectiles. As you can see, it's going through my target's head and keeps on traveling. That is punch through, and we will discuss punch through just a tad later. When it comes to the usability of the Dread, there's really not a whole lot you can complain about, bearing in mind this is a traditional style bow. It does what it's supposed to. It's a high critical chance and critical damage weapon, meaning you're gonna have to go for headshots, not body shots. In Warframe, there are bonus location-based multipliers, bonus critical multipliers, all sorts of weird multipliers. Of course, this is a throwing weapon, so you're gonna have travel time, and you also have that drop-off, which is pretty significant. You're gonna have to lead your targets and aim well above their heads in order to get consistent headshots. And you'll also notice that it has two types of throws that do not land in the exact same spot. The underhand throw and the overhand throw. Now, more often than not, these two bug out and one acts like the other, but this is the correct order. The overhand throw should aim higher and the underhand throw should aim lower. Of course, not taking into account the drop-off. This is even more apparent when you're trying to, well, hit a target. For example, if I aim like this from, what is this? I don't know, 7 meters, something like that. The overhand throw will not hit, but the underhand throw will get a consistent headshot. So there is that to take into account.
Before I go, a few reminders. They have fixed the Incarnon Atomos. If you went for the Atomos, like I went for the Atomos, and you were a little bit disappointed, chances are it's because of the evolution at level 2 that was simply unfunctional. Both of them did not work. Thankfully, Digital Extremes has fixed that, and it works just fine. The weapon definitely carries a punch. Link the cards right now so you can see exactly how that one looks. Not only that, they also are going to be enabling, it's not currently, but they will enable the Hata Satya on the Soma Prime. Something that from my point of view should have been done from the get-go, because even with the Hata Satya on, the weapon is not going to be some sort of immensely overpowered primary weapon. It's simply not gonna happen. It's a single target weapon, but it will be more flavorful, it will be more fun, and let's be honest for a second, we love our red crits on the screen. We want to go to tiers 5, 6, whatever of crit, not because it's necessarily a smart idea, not because it's the biggest DPS increase in the game or anything silly of the sort, simply because we can, and this is Warframe. We do things because they are fun and because we can. And lastly, there are rumblings on the forum that they might do the same thing for the Latron special augment. You remember Double Tap? An amazing augment that gives a whole lot of power to the Latron. This is what you can do in close corridors. Do you even trick shot? Do you even trick shot? That's my question to you, especially if you're playing something like this. The Incarnon Latron right now being one of the most powerful primary weapons in the game alongside the Mitre. And they want to add Double Tap to it. Yes, please. Absolutely yes, please. There have been no grumblings, no sounds of weapon nerfs up until this point, so thankfully they will leave us alone at least for a while longer to enjoy these absolutely amazing weapons. Another aspect that you should be aware of, because it is quite relevant, the Pablo over on his Twitter confirmed that they will be making Incarnon adapters removable. So that puts an end to the whole, hey, which one do I Incarnon, which one is more powerful? This was not a big issue on most weapons since the upgrade path was clear, but when it came to the Boltors, this was a 20-minute discussion, essentially, and the two are essentially neck and neck depending on what you're doing, what kind of ribbon you have, that kind of thing. The problem is, in Teshin's Cave, they always prioritize primes over everything else. In case you don't have the prime, then you might get the Telos, but if you have both, you will constantly be getting the prime. They didn't make the change that they should prioritize weapons which have the Incarnon adapter installed, or better yet, when you get a Boltor, can I just select the one that I want to go with? No? Okay. That would make sense, obviously. Now remember, these Incarnon adapters are on a 6-week rotation, so let's say you selected the quote-unquote wrong Incarnon adapter, don't worry about it, it's gonna be rolling back around and you will get another chance. You shouldn't really have the fear of missing out. Honestly, it's pointless, but something can happen. You can make the argument that, hey, maybe till next time they're gonna be nerfing it, I'm not gonna be enjoying these fantastic weapons at their quote-unquote full or broken power. That's an argument to be had, and there's also some talk about Riven Disposition. What if they lower the Riven Disposition? From my point of view, I simply go for the weapons that are most exciting to me, and I don't care about the nerfs, I don't care about the Riven Disposition or anything of the sort. I am looking to have fun now, and that's what I recommend you do as well. But if you want to make an informed decision, give me a couple of days, let me come out with the full and detailed build guides, and you know exactly what to pick and why. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe only if you enjoy the content. If you got any feedback for me outside of "you sound sick, bro," leave it in the comment section down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.